Monster of Canterlot Chapter 41. After a few hours of draining magic training, I passed out on my bed in Twilight's loft. Luna took her place next to me while Bunny and Klein climbed into Twilight's bed. "Poor thing," Luna said as she gently brushed some hair from my face. "He truly is having a hard time with everything that has happened." Bunny tucked Cotton in as the little filly let out a mighty yawn. "I agree. He hasn't seemed like himself the past few days. Although, whatever you did for him last night seems to have worked. It was like his normal self today." "Yes, there was definite improvement. Sadly, we are not out of the proverbial woods yet. That is why I am still here." Luna's horn glowed brighter as she touched it to my forehead. "My hopes are that I can help him to fight off his own nightmares. Only then can he be free of them." "It wasn't fair. No one should have to deal with the scarring visions that I was dealing with every time I closed my eyes." The damned queen loomed over me with her spear raised once again. Though something was different. Everything was moving slower. It didn't help things, though. I was curled up in my squirming ball of terror, waiting for the strike. Thankfully, my savior was there for me. "Rise, nephew. You can fight her. You must fight her. You are the only one who can stop this nightmare. I have slowed her, but only you can stop her." "No! She's gonna kill me again! Help me! Please!" "Concentrate, Christopher. Focus on what is real and what is not real. If you cannot, there will be no end to this." I forced myself to look around. Luna was standing next to me, but focusing on the oversized queen. Alright, just give me a second." I swallowed deep gulps of dream world air, the doing of which made me realize just what Luna meant by real and not real. Real. The real Chrysalis is locked away in the dungeons along with all her bugged children, where she can't do any harm. I stood up from the dream cave's stone floor and stood beside Luna. With a nod from me, Luna released her hold on the monster. "Not real. This giant bitch is not real and she can't hurt me. Never again." Just like before, Mega Chrysalis vanished in incredibly spectacular fashion. Again, the dream cave transformed into a beautiful meadow with flowers and pink butterflies everywhere. "You have done it, nephew! I'm so very proud of you." Luna wrapped me in a tight hug. "You have managed to fight your own demons and win. Remember that if the creature ever reappears—" "Oh, we seem to have a guest again." I looked in the direction Luna was and saw the same woman from the night before, though there was something different about her this time. Instead of pink shoes on human feet, she had pony legs with buttery yellow fur. She slowly turned to look at us with her big cyan eyes and pink hair spilling out from her pink sun hat. "She's here again? Why? Who is she?" The strange woman smiled and brushed her hair from her face, looking incredibly cute and bashful. "I can't say with any certainty, since she is in your dream, but she does look familiar. Would you not agree?" I walked closer to the mystery lady to get a better look. As I closed in, the wind blew her hat off her head, letting her long, slightly wavy hair out. When I got near, she turned her head away a little, framing her face in a near-perfect heart. "Fluttershy? So why is it the first thing I see when my nightmare is defeated is a human version of Fluttershy?" I asked Luna while we patiently awaited Bunny's waffles and eggs. "The dream realm is difficult to understand, Christopher. There could be many reasons for the fair Fluttershy's presence. She could simply be there because her face is familiar, or there could be something more personal." She added a raise of a single eyebrow and a knowing smirk. "As far as her being a human, I am afraid I can offer no better explanation than your mind, having suffered such a severe trauma, was simply trying to use a shape familiar and comforting. Either way, I see nothing negative about her appearance in your dreams, and I feel you should embrace it." "Yeah, I guess. I mean, anything's better than a giant changeling queen stabbing me over and over again." "Wow," Bunny said as she folded over 3 plates, leaving 3 more plates ready for Twilight content Spike. "Was it really that bad in there?" "Miss Dust Bunny, it was a dream the lights of which I hope never to encounter again. Thankfully, young Christopher was able to overcome his nightmare and should have no issue doing so again in the future, should the need arise." At that moment, Twilight and the others came downstairs to acquire the deliciousness that was the source of the heavenly aroma that had wafted upstairs to their waiting noses. Bunny didn't cook for me much, hardly ever in fact, but the few times she did made me very envious of Cotton and Iron Hammer, especially around Heartswarming Eve. Don't get me wrong, the palace goods are second to none, and a honey-glazed ham from the Griffin Kingdom is always a welcome treat. There's just something about a meal that's been cooked with love in mind that makes all the difference. Good morning, Princess, Bunny greeted. Twilight, who was still running a brush through her mane, corrected her. Bunny, please. We've known each other too long for you to be calling me that. I was talking to my daughter, Twilight. I chuckled at her antics while Twilight blushed a little. I raised my ringed hand and lifted Cottontail off the stairs, floated her giggling self over, and sat her on my lap. Morning, Fluffy Butt. Did you sleep well? Uh-huh, she nodded. And Mommy said since I've been so good lately, I could go see all the animals at Miss Fluttershy's house. Oh, she did she? I gave Bunny a sideways glare. Did she also tell you that you had to be on your very best behavior for Miss Fluttershy? You wouldn't want her to give you her famous stare, would you? No, I promised to be good. Good. But I think your mommy's gonna have to go with us and keep an eye on you. Fluttershy has a lot of things on her plate right now, and it's already stretching herself thin just taking time to teach me to fly. I looked at Bunny and gave her a look that clearly stated that this was not a request. Of course, Bunny said while wiping her mouth on her napkin. I wouldn't want to be a burden to Miss Fluttershy. 10 minutes later, we were on our way out. After I said farewell to Luna, of course, seeing as how she would be heading back to Canterlot this morning. Oh, hello, Dust Bunny. What brings you here today? Fluttershy asked as Bunny trotted up the path to her cottage. Well, Cottontail had really wanted to see the animals, but Chris said that your schedule was tight and that I would have to come along to keep an eye on her. I hope that's okay. Of course that's okay, as long as you're here to watch over her. Fluttershy then looked around to try to find the filly in question. Where is she? Bunny didn't say anything. She merely pointed up into the sky. Fluttershy looked and squinted at the sunlight in her eyes. Soon, though, she spotted the winged human and giggling miniature pony that floated down into the clearing around her home. As soon as I touched ground, I folded my wings up and joined the two mares. Good morning, Fluttershy. I brought along a small demon in need of cute, fluffy animals. Would you be able to assist? Just for added cuteness, I held Cottontail at arm's length, clutching her by a single back leg. She giggled like mad as she swung back and forth by her one leg. Fluttershy giggled and cantered over. Once she stopped in front of me, I placed Cottontail on her back. I think I can accommodate. Besides, I won't be training you today. Oh? Yes. Rainbow Dash has agreed to teach you how to recover from a fall. She's much better at it than I am, and if something were to go wrong, I wouldn't be fast enough to help you. For some reason, I felt disappointed by that. I guess that made sense. Too bad. I enjoy our flight time together. I spotted a slight twitch in her wings, but ignored it and licked it off. Remember to be a good girl, Fluffy Butt. Okay. She waved back at me as I flew off to find my multi-chromatic friend. It wasn't long before I spotted a rainbow streaking through the sky and blowing up clouds. I made my best speed, which wasn't much to be honest, in order to catch up with her. It wasn't long before I realized it was a losing battle I was fighting. I resigned myself to patiently waiting on a nearby cloud. I was sinking into the fluffy awesomeness of my little cloud when suddenly it wasn't there anymore. Oh, come on! I was trying everything I could to try to recover from a descent. Extend one wing full and pull the other one in a little, Rainbow called out as she paced me. That will make you roll. As soon as you're on your belly, extend both wings. I did as she instructed, though it took a lot of effort to fight my instincts. All my mind was telling me to do was swim for some reason. Good thing I listened too. I managed to roll onto my belly and stop my fall only a few dozen meters from the ground. I drew huge gulps of air as I hovered over the thatched roofs of Ponyville. Phew, that was close. I'm really questioning your teaching methods, Rambo. Are you just trying to pick another fight? First off, you're still in one piece, so obviously my teaching methods are fine. Second, picking a fight with you would be a huge hassle once Fluttershy found out. Geez, she'd probably give me the stare. Rainbow wrapped her forelegs around herself tightly and shuddered. nearly falling out of the air. Oh hey, speaking of Fluttershy, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I dreamed about her last night. Really? Were you kissing her and hugging her and rubbing her between her wings? No, nothing like that, you brat. What had happened was, after Aunt Luna helped me defeat the dream chrysalis, the cave faded away and we were sailing in a field. Up the hill from us was a human female in a yellow dress. But if it was a human female, what made you think it was Fluttershy? Rainbow asked. Cyan eyes, shy little smile, and pink hair that frames her face in a heart when she drops her chin. That's Fluttershy, alright. What was she doing in your dream? Nothing. She was just standing there in a yellow dress, looking out over a meadow. She didn't even say anything. That's weird, Rainbow said as we both landed on a cloud and got comfortable. She seemed to be contemplating what I had told her. What did she look like? I looked at her for a brief moment, then looked back out over the cityscape while I thought about her question. Really, there was only one possible answer. She was gorgeous. The look on Rainbow's face told me she wanted a little more than that. What? How am I supposed to describe a human female to you when you have only me as a reference? Well, say something better than she was pretty. I thought some more on it. Imagine a sonic rainbow right at sunrise with the Wonderbolts do a flyby through the center of the rain. Rainbow pictured the image. Whoa, she really looked as good as all of that? I didn't answer verbally, but instead just returned my attention to the horizon and nodded. Strangely, the horizon began to tilt and the wind picked up. It took it a second or two, but I soon figured out that Rainbow had pushed me off the cloud. Remember, only open one wing till you roll onto your belly, she shouted as she hopped off her perch after me. After a few hours of Rainbow Dash being tricky and dropping me from the sky, I had learned how to correct a fall from any direction, and very quickly. I wasn't a fan of her methods, but one could hardly argue with the results. I actually felt that it was safe for me to carry a little cottontail higher than just a few meters off the ground, though at her age she wouldn't care if I were 1 meter or 100 meters up. Rainbow and I touched down on the other side of the small bunch of trees that surrounded her cottage. Hey, Chris, hold up a sec. What's up, Dash? Look, I know you've been burned in the past by mares, but know that some pony like Fluttershy would never, ever do anything to hurt any pony. Huh? What are you... But Rainbow had flown off before I could finish my question. Okay. I turned and walked the rest of the way to Fluttershy's cottage. I was about to knock when I heard a lot of laughter coming from the side of the house. When I rounded the corner, I smiled widely. Little Cottontail was chasing a real Cottontail around the yard, laughing her cute little head off. The rabbit, a white one named Angel, seemed to actually be enjoying himself. I thought for a moment that everything I had learned from the little guy was wrong. Right up until he led Cottontail into a shrub, her little tush wiggling as she tried to kick herself free. You almost had him, Fluffy Butt, I teased as I plucked her out of the bush and set her on her hooves. It's about time to go. Where's your mama? She's inside with Miss Fluttershy. I used my magic to flutter her up onto my shoulder. Alright, let's go save her from her own duster. 10 minutes after prying Bunny away from her cleaning every square millimeter of Fluttershy's cottage, I've never seen some pony polishing a ceiling. I landed on the observation deck at the top of Twilight's treehouse. I knelt down and allowed Bunny to slide off my back as I placed Cottontail on the floor. Wow, I could get used to traveling like that. Well, don't get used to it, Bunny. I still prefer keeping my feet on the ground. I only flew you two here because I promised. It's actually very tiring. Maybe you're just not used to using those muscles yet. I'm sure it'll get easier with practice. Yeah, Cottontail cheered next to her mother. You just gotta keep trying. That's how Daddy said he got so big and strong. That's right, Twilight injected as she came out into the balcony. All it takes is practice. Speaking of which, we have spells to work on, Mr. Force Fields. Oh, and I do have a door at ground level, you know. And that was when I learned how to fall.